Best range of weapons in beat-em-up history. Soul Calibur 2.
Ready? Ready? You win. Come back when you're ready.
Time for another scrap one-on-one style. Been a while since we had a fighter in the list, but I feel like I've got a good span of the major ones, from Street Fighter 2 to Tekken 3 to Soul Calibur 2. These would be the biggest and most iconic examples of the genre in their own time, and it's why I played them, because in all honesty, the one-on-one fighter has never been my favourite kind of game. I've never felt the drive to stick at one long enough to become competitive in an arcade or even a friend group environment. Even learning all the special moves seems like a bit of a chore, so to interest me, a fighting game needs either a really interesting setting and or characters, or incredible visual presentation, along with being accessible enough for a filthy casual like me to tackle without giving up after half an hour. Soul Calibur 2 ticks all these boxes. So the inclusion of weapons is the unique selling point of Soul Calibur, and yes, I'm fully aware that some fighting games had used weapons here and there before, and no Battle Arena Toshinden exists. But traditionally it was considered rather poor form to bring a weapon to a one-on-one fist fight. Imagine if Guile was in a tense showdown with Ryu and just said, fuck it, whipped out a rocket launcher. It wouldn't fly. The Soul Calibur games don't just have weapons as an occasional special move, like when Johnny Cage shoots you with his gun in Mortal Kombat. The gameplay mechanics are heavily based around those weapons, with each character specialising in a different type of blade, staff or whip, and it's even possible to upgrade them and amend them in some modes with different power-ups and buffs. So it's fair to say this is a significantly different experience from what came before. This is especially true for me as I hadn't played Soul Edge or the original Soul Calibur, so this was all brand new to me. When an existing genre gets something added like this, it could be in danger of being something like a gimmick. You might expect the weapons to feel light or inconsequential in the second-to-second gameplay, almost like they're just an extension of the strikes you would get in a regular fighting game. But that's absolutely not the case here. When these weapons connect, they do so with a good sense of weight and power. Characters physically react suitably when struck with an enormous bladed wheel, or when wrapped up in an enormous snake-like spiky whip, however you might imagine an authentic reaction to that to be. This makes the fighting feel really satisfying, right down in your hyper-violent lizard brain. Oh yeah, right there. Lovely. There's also a bit more to this tactically. It's not just about getting your opponent's health bar to 0. You can also win by bouncing them out of the fighting area. This is where you start using the 3D to your advantage as you each try to maneuver yourself around your opponent so you're not on the outside and therefore at risk of an immediate ring out. And this can create some really fun and frantic moments, especially in multiplayer. It feels nice because it negates some of the uber-technical gameplay that fighting games can often develop and brings it back down to the level of ultra-accessible, almost Mario Kart-style chaos. On top of that, Soul Calibur really shows off the power of the new consoles with some gorgeous presentation. The character models in particular are enormous and full of more polygons than... Hang on, I should be able to think of something for this. More polygons than a maths degree?
Oh, I'm not the kind of magician who does tricks. I'm a math-magician.
More polygons than 2B's arse?
Alert. We are being watched from below.
From below?
There's a lot of polygons, is the point, and in some cases, they're deployed in an extremely aesthetically pleasing way.
No one can escape from me!
They really knew who they were appealing to back then, didn't they? But hey, look, it's actually very highbrow, how many other video games are set in the 16th century? Although I'm not entirely sure about the historical accuracy.
Come back to me.
I will defeat you no matter what!
Now, we're not going to ask the Time team to write a complete history of the whole area, and they certainly don't claim to be experts on this particular place.
The fantasy setting is another thing that sets it apart from its contemporaries and helps carve out a niche away from being just big burly lads knocking the tar out of each other. But the real hook in this home version is the number of modes. Yes, obviously there's your regular arcade ladder, survival, team battle and versus modes, but unlike many fighting games of the era, they'd actually thought about how to give this one a longevity as a home gaming experience with the Weapon Master mode. This worked a bit like an RPG adventure, where you took a character through multiple stages of a story, each corresponding to a challenge in which you need to take on one or more opponents, usually with some kind of gimmick such as throws doing more damage or blocks being disabled, or here, where there's a really bad wind and you've got to just make sure the other guy falls off the stage before you do. It's like walking along the quayside in January.
Escape.
In this mode you can collect new weapons, some of which cause additional damage or specific status buffs or debuffs. You can also shop for new costumes, and it meant there was a reason to keep playing beyond just getting to each character's brief arcade ending. It encouraged you to keep getting better, as there was always something else to achieve, and it was the first time I really felt like I got proper value for money out of a one-on-one fighter as a proper home video game experience. There was also a weird gimmicky thing at the time with each of the 3 home versions on PS2, GameCube and Xbox receiving a unique character. I played on PS2, so I got to play as Heihachi, who looks like he belongs here frankly compared to the comedy novelty of playing as Link on the GameCube or Spawn on the Xbox.
Spawn, gonna jump in the Soul Calibur ring for a bit of bother. So, here's your axe, Chief. But you get done over with that small thing. Try something with a little... Alright, you're a strong fella, don't need a bigger axe now.
I've played a lot of the later entries in this series purely because I had so much affection for this one. And while they improve the graphics, expand the modes a bit, add characters, and are probably objectively better games, I was never as charmed by any of them as I continue to be by this one here. Quite simply, one of the greatest fighting video games ever made. Highly recommended.